Hello, everybody. Welcome back to your Roll With It BJJ and Travel podcast. Today we have a special guest on the show. Her name is Ana Yagues. She's a great person I met while I lived in Germany, and I really want her to tell us some of her practices as far as traveling with kids go. So Rob decided to sit this one out because neither one of us have kids. So we decided to bring somebody to show us what is possible with traveling and kids. So Anna, tell us a little about you. How long have you been training jiu-jitsu?
Hi, Eva. First, thank you for inviting me to do this interview. I have been training Jiu-Jitsu now, I think, for 12 years.
12 years.
12 or 13 years, more or less, yes.
Awesome. And you also own your own gym, right, in Hamburg, Germany.
Yes.
And which I was really lucky to go visit. If anybody's out there in the area, make sure you check it out. I had the pleasure of training. I don't know if I ever told you this, but I think the majority of my training for Europeans came straight out of your academy.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, exactly. So, I traveled around a lot, traveling in other gyms, and I decided that your gym was providing me some of the best training out there, and that's why I kept going back.
I'm happy to hear that. Even when you came, I think it's when I was pregnant, right,
Yeah.
with Carla? Yes.
With baby Carla that we can hear in the background.
Yeah, we were rolling before in the same camp, right, in Poland.
Yep.
But then when you came to Hamburg, then, I was pregnant. I could do some technique, but I could not fight anymore. But now I am again on the top, so you can come back to visit us.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. I need to come back and now train with you.
That could be great, yeah.
Right? So you have a new baby Carla, and you
Yeah,
have,
baby Carla, yes.
and then you have your other two daughters.
Yes, Giselle and Anais.
And their ages are?
Giselle is 8.5, and Anais is 5.
And the baby's
and
like months.
Carla is 7 months.
Yeah. So here's my big. Let's jump into it, right? Let's just go ahead and jump into it.
Yes.
As soon as you had the baby, I remember you posting on Facebook. I think you had the baby, and then maybe like 2 weeks later, you were going on some big family trip.
Yes, exactly. It's because my brother was getting married, and this is an appointment that he did way before I got pregnant. So I remember when I was still pregnant that before I got pregnant, because we were looking for that baby, that he told me, if you haven't get pregnant yet this month, then stop looking for it, because otherwise you will not make it to my wedding. But I got it on time, and Carla was born, I think, 3 weeks before the wedding of my brother. The wedding was in Sevilla, in the south of Spain. So I didn't have any other choice than to pack the baby with and travel. But that was the easy part. I have to be honest, the most difficult part was to find a dress within 3 weeks after delivery. That was hard.
Oh, wow. So you're saying the actual traveling part with the baby was easy?
Yeah, it is a baby.
Did you just pack the baby? Sorry. Did you just pack the baby in a carry-on or something? Because that's what I would have done. I would have just stuffed the baby inside a carry-on.
Yeah. It's like newborns. As long as they are healthy, and my 3 babies were always healthy, they just eat and sleep and poop. This is all they do. It's very, very easy. The people get very scared when they have them, because they are so fragile, so small, so little, but they are actually the easiest to travel with, because you put it in a maxi-cosi on the carry cord, or in this grab thing that you can put on your body around, and then you just take them, and it's very easy. Maybe they they yell a little bit on the plane because of the ears, but any of my baby did that. So it's easy. It's baby is not a problem. Toddlers, when they become a little bit bigger, like 3-4 years, then it's a little bit more difficult. But as long as they cannot move around by themselves, then it's still the easy part.
You have the full control of them.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
So,
They just have to be healthy. And my babies were always healthy, so it's no problem.
and I've seen that you've done some family jiu-jitsu camps as well, where you took your other two daughters. I don't know if you took the baby.
No, she was not born yet. Yes, this is a family camp organized by Christian Iversen, a good friend of Christian Grauer too. He organized this BJJ Families Camp, which is yes for it's a different concept than my camps. His camps is for parents who have kids, and for example, the man want to train jiu-jitsu, the mom doesn't want but want to go also on holiday, so they combine everything in a kind of resort. This resort is in Chipre or Cyprus, and they have a pool, they have a lot of activity for the kids, also a lot of things for the people who want to relax, and they have a lot of jiu-jitsu for the kids and for the adults. And I went there, I think it was last year, with my two kids. And yeah, we had a lot of fun because then you can relax, you can do jiu-jitsu, and the kids are free there, pool, climbing wall, whatever they want to do.
So you mentioned something which was it's a family camp, but if the wife, if the mom doesn't want to train jiu-jitsu, then obviously the father can go train, right?
Exactly.
But in your case, you are a well-accomplished black belt. I mean, I've seen your wall and all your medals. So talk about your BJJ Moms Camp, because that's the one you run, right?
Yes, exactly. The BJJ Moms Camp is the one I run, and originally was thought to be only for moms, but the last time I organized a camp, there were actually a couple of dads asking me if they also could go with the kids. And I say, well, why not? I mean, if you are also a caring parent and you have a child and you want to train, then come. And the concept is different because it's not organized for the whole family. It's actually usually for single dads or single moms or single traveling. I mean, they can have the husband or the wife at home, but that they want to do a travel along with their kids, and they get jiu-jitsu to do jiu-jitsu, and while they are training, the kids get babysitted. I mean, if they are very small, they have a babysitting. If they are 5, 6, or more than that, then they get a parallel jiu-jitsu class for kids. So you are free to train the sport while your kids are being taken care of, which is a different with the family camp, because in the family camp, you can do jiu-jitsu, but someone has to take care of the kids. At least they are old enough to be free around. You know what I mean?
Right, right. And
so the difference is in my camp, we offer like daycare. Yeah,
right.
like not the whole day, but during the training times, the kids are taken care of so that you can concentrate on your training. And we do once in the whole weekend or 4 days that we have the camp, we do 1 or 2 classes when the kid can train with the parent. So to work a little bit on this bonding mom-child or that child. But the rest of the class are separate. The adults with the adults, the kids, they go either in the playroom to play or in the other mat to do jiu-jitsu with a kids instructor.
That's a really cool and very different concept from anything I have heard of. I know I had seen you promote it before, but again, because I don't have kids or not even in the near future, I didn't think about it much.
I can give you one of mine if you want.
I'll take your older one. She's your killer.
Yeah.
I don't change diapers. That's actually an ongoing joke with my family. Everybody keeps having kids in my family and trying to make me change diapers.
It's believe me, it is easier to change diapers than to deal with puberty. Like Giselle is 8.5. She's already heading into the teenager phase, and she has some days where she start already bitching around and I don't want that or I want that and why the life is so unfair and me. And changing diapers is way easier than that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd rather wait a couple years to figure all that out. Um, but now, so the camps, right? The ones you have,
Yep.
so I find it very interesting because so far, Rob and I have talked about traveling a lot, but we're single, and even for us, there's a lot of preparation for it. We have to look into where we're staying, what kind of clothes we're taking, how much gear we can take, and I was just wondering, like, how much does that get harder when you're having to pack for not just one kids but three kids?
Well, yes. I mean, it's not easy, yeah. And I never say when I work on my social media, when I talk to the people, I never say it is easy. It's not. But what I say is not impossible and it's not that hard. If you learn to do that, if you learn to plan ahead, then it's not that hard. You just have to get used to it and to learn new techniques. It's exactly like jiu-jitsu. You start as a white belt. It's the way I started with Giselle 8 years ago, and then you learn with the time. You learn the tricks. You learn what to do, what not to do, and this is what I try to blog about in my blog to give the people some advice how to do that, how not to do that, give them advice where I learn is a big mistake, for example, to try because I am not rich, I don't have that much money, so I try to save and get a flight from A to B, like making one stopover and without checking luggage because I save so much money. But when I have kids, it's not worth. Pay it because if you are going to stop over with 3 kids or even with 2 kids, and you have to carry all your luggage by yourself, and you have a baby which you have to carry sometimes through the security pass or wherever, it can get very complicated. So I try to advise other moms so that they learn from my own mistakes and that they have it easier than I had. But once that you have learned it, it's not so difficult. It's planification and do the things the way you should do, and it is.
Right. So I know on your blog, the latest one you released, you talked about the flights, which you just mentioned. Instead of
Yes.
buying the cheaper flight that has 2 or 3 layovers, just pay the little
Mm-hmm.
extra money or however much more money it is to have the direct flight when you have kids.
Yeah.
What is another tip that you could say, like, it's very important?
Well, the one even more than the stopovers, which is also, like I say, a pain in the ass. Not with a baby. Again, if you are traveling just with a baby, it's easier. I am talking now about black belt with 4 degrees. I mean, having 3 kids on the way, then it's a stopover, not that good. But another thing that I really try not to do again is save money by only taking this hand luggage. Like right now, I try always to check in one, and you don't have to check in one for every kid. It's enough if you check in one and take. It's like the allowance is 20 kilos. You have to learn to travel with only what you need. Like you don't need 4 pairs of jeans and 3 t-shirts and whatever. Just there is washing laundry centers in every country that you have been. I have been all over the world, and we find always laundry centers. So you just wash your clothes again, and you check in one luggage, and it fits the clothes for your 3 kids and yourself, and even your gi. And so I have to say my gi, I always have it with me in cabin because I don't want it to get lost, so that I can be sure I can train everywhere. I don't care if I have to buy a new jeans, if I am in Romania or if I am in Nepal, I can buy a new jeans or a new part of trousers, but I cannot buy everywhere a gi. So the gi is something I take with me in the cabin. my gi, my 3 kids in the cabin. Everything else goes in the check-in luggage, and this is something I would strongly advise. Yes, and
I mean,
except for that, yeah.
I guess if you can fit one of the kids in the check-in luggage, you would just check it in too, right?
If I mean, you do that with dogs, but this is not completely safe, not even for animals. So yes, I take them with me in the cabin.
So that's another really good advice. I usually drive or take the train anywhere. Um, I fly sometimes too, but I rather drive or take the train. Um, I hate airports, so
Uh,
I tend
we
to.
we take the train and the car a lot too. Especially because it's cheaper. This is another advice. When we are moving around Europe, we try to take the train because at least in Germany, in Switzerland, and Austria, I don't know the other countries, you don't pay tickets for the kids. So I travel, I pay my ticket, but my 3 kids go for free. Whatever. However, if you travel by plane, babies, they have to pay only like a tax, which is 20 or 25 euros. But all the other kids who are over 3 years old, they have to pay a ticket. So traveling, if I am going to travel to, for example, like last time to Zurich in Switzerland, it's much cheaper for me to go by train than go by plane. Of course, it's a matter also of time. Like it takes also more time. So depending on what time how much time you have, you can choose one or the other transport.
Okay, I see. So there you have it. If you're coming from America and you want to travel around Europe, use use that train advantage if you have the time. Uh,
Yeah, exactly.
to save some money on the kids travel port. Um,
Yeah, and also it's good because in the train the kids can run. They can just get off their seats and play around, go to the toilet, run around the corridors. They can do everything. In the plane, they have to be seated all the time. So if I can take the train, I would take the train. But I go to a lot of island, or if I have to go from Hamburg in the north of Germany to Sevilla, where my family is in the south of Spain, I have to take the plane too because it's just far too far away. But if it's a short distance, I would go for the train.
okay, I understand. I see that. So that's exactly what I would do too. Anytime I would go up to your academy, I would always take the train. Um,
Hmm.
it wasn't. It was right around my limit of time frame. To get
Hmm.
somewhere, it was around 4 hours or something like that. Because I'm like a kid, I can't be sitting down for a long time either. That's why I hate. That's why I hate flying because I have to be sitting down for so long. Um,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
I'm not rich either, so I'm not taking first class. I have to be in the economy, and sometimes those are packed. Um,
Yeah, yeah. I get that. It's like when I am flying far away, like I went to Dubai or Israel or whatever. These flights usually they have this screen where you can watch movies. Then this is perfect for kids. Electronic babysitting is something I don't use every time because I don't want that they become computer nerds or that they just want to be watching movies all the time. But for this kind of things, it's perfect. They just put the film on and then they stay quiet all the travel. But if you are going to fly for 3 hours, then usually there is not one of these screens, so they have to entertain themselves. And to keep a 5 years old 3 hours seated, this is hard. This is very hard. So this is why I would prefer also to do train.
so let's go into some of the places you've traveled to. Tell me of some
Mhm.
of the places you've gone to that you felt were very kid friendly. That you would tell maybe a first time traveler, somebody that
Yeah.
maybe has one kid that you could say, hey, this is a good place
Yes.
you could go to.
For example, Turkey. Turkey is say in English, right? Turkey.
Turkish.
Um, yeah, this is a very, very kids friendly. I was surprised the very first time I went with Giselle. They love kids and they treat them as kings and they treat also the families very well. So the weather is good, food is good, so I like it very much. Also, Israel, they are very kids friendly, and in general, all all the countries who are around the Mediterranean. Uh, I don't know the name in English.
Mediterranean,
Yeah,
around the Mediterranean.
Italy, the island, Sicily. This is where we have our next BJJ Moms camp in Sicily. It's wonderful for kids. They love kids, and you have good weather and wonderful beaches and everything. And Spain, of course. All what is on the sea usually, yeah, the people are nice and they are kids friendly. Um, yes, I have been in other countries where they are also very kids friendly, but where I haven't been yet with the kids, like it's Vietnam or Nepal, because it was a little bit too far away, or I wanted to do some projects like climbing 5,000 meters high or something like that, that I could not take my kids with. Then in that case, they stay with the grandma, and then I travel alone.
Well, at least they have good grandparents too, so that you can get your
Yes,
single travel. Um,
exactly, yes.
so I'm surprised you're mentioning some of these places like Turkey and is that what we call it, Turkey? Yeah, and
Turkey, Italy, Spain, or also Israel. Israel is nice
yeah.
also.
So Turkey and Israel are usually considered to be not the safest places, and you took your kids there.
Yes, I went to Israel 3 times already, I think. Two of them with my kids. One of them I was alone because it was a wedding. And I went to Turkey also with my kids. I go almost everywhere with them. I don't think they are more dangerous than London or US, to be honest. Yes, I mean, somehow they are a little bit unstable from the political point of view, and if it is really a very bad situation, like for example now Venezuela, then I would not go there. But if it is just that, yeah, it's not the safest. But you know, the terrorist attack, for example, in the big cities like Paris, London, or the States are, for me, are more scary than going to one of these countries. And I am always like, I feel very safe there, and I do it all over again. I have no problem at all.
I totally agree with you on that part too. Actually, the first year when I moved to Germany, it was right around this time during the holidays, and we were planning on going to Paris for New Year, and that's when the Paris attack happened. So, who would have thought, in the city that's supposed to
Yes,
be.
yes, I was there also. I was in Amiens. I was refereeing for Naga when this happened, and my, like, when I finished refereeing, I had like thousands of messages in my handy. My family all worried because they thought I was in Paris, and I was in Amiens, which is like, I don't know, 1 or 2 hours from Paris away, and I haven't get any news yet. And you know, it's like, it's Paris, so I don't. To find the danger, you don't have to fly far away. This is everywhere nowadays. So of course, again, like, there are certain countries where I really would not go because they are very unstable from the political point of view, or because the danger of illness is very high. Like in some countries, maybe in Africa, I would not go with the baby because she is not vaccinated for all this stuff. But the rest is, I think, is safe. I mean, it's at least as safe as I am home, not more, no less.
Right. I mean, and then you have a black belt, so your kids.
Well, I mean, yeah, black, as a Carmen, a friend of mine. I don't know if you know Carmen, is a black belt. She owns a gym in Girona, in the north of Spain, and she say always, because she's small, she's 47 kilos, so almost like a kid. She's technical very good, but she's 47 kilos, which is very, very small. So she said, yeah, I have a black belt, but the black belt does not come with superpowers. So, like, yes, there is a limit to what a black belt can do. Um, yeah, but I think I can manage to keep my kids safe, at least within my possibilities.
Um, in my recent travel to Thailand, I found out that I needed a special visa to travel there.
Uh huh.
And this comes because um, although I am a resident of America, I am still a citizen of Mexico. So because of my
Uh-huh.
passport, I have to get visas to go to several countries, a little bit more countries than I would if I was an American citizen already.
Mm-hmm.
You are originally from Spain,
Yes.
but have been living in Germany for a crazy amount of years.
Yeah, 17, I
I
think.
still don't understand that, Anna. Why would you leave Spain? But okay, you like it, you're fine.
Yeah, you know
um,
these are my kids.
so, do you still have a Spanish citizenship?
Yes, I have. I have.
So what?
I was offered to have the German one a few years ago. The government itself, they send you a letter when you fulfill all the points that you have. And when you are living in Germany, I think for more than 8 years, and you have been paying taxes, because if you have been living here but not paying taxes, then you are not you are not allowed to have the passport.
Hmm.
But I was, because I was working. Then you can apply to be German. But I didn't do it back at the time because it was just like paperwork, and I didn't have time to do. And because Spain is European, you don't have any bad side. I can travel more or less the same that German one. Like there was no a real advantage, and it was paperwork. And I say no, but maybe I do it sometimes just to uh, for some small thing that being German would be an advantage. But actually, uh, I have been here 17 years, and it was the same.
Okay, I see. Um, so I don't know. Are you able to talk about on air? Um, you had some issue happen with trying to go to America. You were supposed to take a summer trip or something. Um,
Yes.
are you able
To
to
go
talk
to
about
America
that?
is not that easy.
Say that again.
No, to go to America, that can be more complicated.
Okay, are you able to talk about that? Because I'm not sure what was the.
Yeah, no, the issue was that I wanted to go to America last year. I have been there already, and for me, it's no problem. The baby is no problem. We had our visa and everything was okay. But I was going to travel there with Tony, my partner, and the problem is he was in Iran for holidays a couple of years ago, and the new I don't know if it is new or it's not new, but at least it's what they were applying now with Trump. Whoever who has been in Iran after 2008 or something like that, they have to apply for a visa, not only this ESTA thing that you do online,
Mm-hmm.
but a real visa. You have to go through the interview and everything. And yeah, so we didn't know that. So we were trying to do all the paperwork online. Then we learned about the fact that he need to go to Berlin to the embassy and do an interview and apply for the visa, and that would take a couple of weeks to get a yes or no. So at the end, yeah, we couldn't travel last year, but we intend to go down because at the end he got it. We intend to go this summer 2019 to the States and travel a little bit there around.
Okay, I see. Well, I mean, and the reason I'm asking is because I'm still a Mexican citizen, so a lot of
Yes.
my traveling can affect whether or not I can go back to America.
Ah,
so
yes.
so I was, I'm trying to get a little bit more adventurous with my traveling, going to some other countries that I know my wife cannot go to right now because of her job, but
Ah, yes.
I can, I can go anywhere I want. The issue would be going back to America. Um,
Okay.
so that's why I wanted
Well,
to
you don't
ask
need
you.
it. You know already in Hamburg there is a good academy.
Exactly right.
I know you don't like Germany that much, but if you get used, you Germanize, then it's not that bad. I just miss the sun, but the rest, I mean, the food, I can cook it at home, so I cook my Spanish food. I have my jiu-jitsu, which is my war, and the sun is the only thing I miss. But I use Hamburg more like my base home. I stay here. Here is my home, but then I am almost every weekend traveling around. So it's like I don't get bored. I don't get fed up of Hamburg because I am not here more than 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, my my wife was just asking me where we want to move to next year. And as we're planning, she was telling me, "Do you want to go back to Germany?" And I'm like, "No, I don't think I want to go back to Europe that fast. I want to continue to travel outside." And then she said, "Do you want to go back to Spain? Would you want to go live in Spain?" I'm like, "Oh yes, we can go to Spain tomorrow."
Spain is great. I know. Back at the time, I moved because I study physics, and then I got a scholarship to study in Munich. So I moved to Munich, and from there I found another job in Berlin, and then I did my PhD in Hamburg. This is the way the things went. Because Spain is great for holidays, for tourists, and for all kind of things, but it's not a country where the government invests on science. So when you are physicist or engineering or something alike, then you probably have to go abroad to if you want to work as a physicist. So that is the reason why I left Spain at first. And then, yes, with the time I met Jiu-Jitsu, I dropped my science career. I stayed with Jiu-Jitsu. I have my academy now here. So this is something I cannot move when I travel. And this is why I decide, because I like traveling a lot, but I like living from Jiu-Jitsu. And for that, I need my academy to work fine. Then I decide Hamburg is like my base home. I am here like in between the weeks, and then I travel a lot, back and forth, back and forth. When I have more time put together, then I do big travels. Like last summer with the baby, we were 3.5 months on the road. And if not, then I use like 2 weeks away, then back, and things like that.
With the baby, wow.
Yeah.
So I mean,
It was a very good day.
I think you appreciate this now that I'm been traveling around Asia. I do miss my Germans because they have a sense of personal space, and that is something that does not exist in Asia. I've come to learn. So
like clean toilets.
right. But and not just that. I mean, if I'm in line to get something, with Germans, you have personal space. You don't have to say hi. You go about your business. You get things done fast. And I find it in Asia, everybody's, pretty much breathing on your neck.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So,
that is fun for a couple of weeks, but to be there all the time is like, maybe you got a little bit Germanized after all.
Right. I think I did.
It's like when I came here, I remember very good the first year I was in Germany. I was on the train station, and one train was coming 3 minutes late, and they announced it through the megaphone, and they say this train with destination whatever is coming 3 minutes late. And there were people there waiting for the train who got angry. And I was thinking, 3 minutes, it's nothing. Like in Spain, maybe the train does not come at all and they don't let you know. So why are you complaining? But now that I am here for 70 years, when I go back to Spain and the bus does not arrive on time, then I get also kind of angry. Say, it cannot be that I am becoming a German. It's like, relax, yeah.
Well, if it affected me in 3 years, I think after 17 years, you are pretty much a German.
Yes.
So, one more question for you, because I know
Yes.
you have a busy life, and I'm pretty sure you have about 1,000 things you have to do now. But do you have a favorite place that you have traveled to?
Favorite place? This is a very difficult question. I may have a couple of places that I love, like Benedict, but not with kids. It's like a city that I personally like to just be alone or with my partner to walk around through the channels and this atmosphere of Benedict. I don't know if you have been there, but it's a city who was glorious and big and magnificent and everything a couple of 100 years ago, and now it's like sinking on the water. And I love this feeling of something that was big and is um, getting lost. I love that city. I love also Santorini that I have been only once, but I love that island.
I loved it
But
there too.
yeah, it's just this blue and white colors is something that it fascinates me, and just to sit on the sun and relax. And these are very two cities that I like a lot to relax. But I am actually a big city person. I like New York, I like London, I like Paris. Actually, I like everywhere. And thing is, I have this scratch map here at my place, and this mappa mundi, this map of the world, where you scratch the countries where you have been to.
Right. Yeah.
um so every time I went to a new place, I scratch, and then it shows in a color. And every time, every single day, when I wake up, I walk by the map and I watch at it, and I said, the world is so big, and I want to see so many things that I cannot afford to go back again to places where I have already been, even if I like them. Sometimes I make like a very short trip for a weekend to go somewhere that I really like, or because of work, BJJ seminars, competition, whatever. But I like to discover all new places because, yeah, it's like I love traveling as much as I love jiu-jitsu, and I am obsessed with seeing as much as I can in this life. And so that's why I don't usually repeat. Many people invite us to come back to some places, and we say we would like, but I don't know if we will find the time, because if I put again 2 or 3 weeks together, then I would like to go to a new place that I haven't been before. So yeah, this is my view of life. And now I do it with my kids. When they are now in the school, is the most complicated thing, because when they are in the school, you cannot take them over. You can homeschool them, but this is something I don't really like the idea. Plus, I prefer, yeah, to that they go to a good school and that take care of the education. In that sense, I take care of the other kind of education, like sport, manners, and be a good person in life, and travel around. It's very important
Yeah.
for me that they know the world. Um, just as a small Anais, can you please be a little bit? She's singing all the time around. Um, like a little anecdote is, I told you I went to Israel a couple of years ago, and I took my kids there. I was there with my wrestling coach and mental coach, David Mendelson, that you also know.
Yep.
And he's a fantastic guy, as you know, and he showed us around. And we went to visit also some little town which is in Palestine already. I mean, in the area which is the most problematic. But we wanted to know that. My family was crazy, like this is danger and everything. I say no. I mean, if David is taking me there, it's because it's not dangerous. In fact, it's not, but it's poor. It's very poor. You see the people, the constructions are falling apart. The trash is on the streets because there is not a service from the city picking it up and everything. I wanted my kids to see that. And Giselle, who was the oldest at the time, she was 6. She was very impressed, and she told me, "Mom, the people here, the homes are broken." She said, and the trash is on the streets, and why is that? And I explained it to her. And for me, I think it's something that they don't learn really in the school. Well, they may learn in the school about the wars, about the conflicts, but they have to see it, and they have, in my opinion, to see how lucky they are to be living in Germany, to have a proper home, to have food on the plates, and all these luxuries that they have.
Right.
And so for me, it's very important that my kids go to see not only Disneyland Paris, where I take them to when I can, but also the people who are not that fortunate that they are, because this is the war, and I think they make them more to have more empathy and to be better persons if they know. It's not for granted that
Right.
you are born in a good family with money and with good school and food and clothes and everything. So I would also advise other parents, if you can, take your kids to travel around the world with you and show them the good and the bad things, as long as it's safe, of course, and yeah, show them the world.
I definitely agree with that, and that's something that I have thought about I don't think about having kids that often, but when I do think about, how I would like for them to see the world, and that is something I would love for them to experience, the good and the bad, to I think
Yeah.
that would help shape the kids who could possibly make a better impact in this world, instead of having so many
Yes.
wars and stuff. Um,
Yes.
to learn
Exactly.
compassion and to learn compassion by being there, by looking at it, not just, you know,
Yes. Yes.
reading.
Exactly.
Um, well, there you have it, folks. Ana, thank you very much for joining us today and for sharing your knowledge. Uh, Guys, this is information straight from somebody who not only has the black belt but runs her own academy, has 3 children, has a PhD, and I mean the list of accomplishments go on with this woman. And I'm pretty sure some of you
Thank you.
might feel. I'm pretty sure some people out there are gonna think like, well, I mean, that Ana lady sounds very superwoman kind, but I think, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, Ana, but I'm pretty sure you feel that, it's very doable to travel. It's very doable to train jiu-jitsu and travel at the
Yes.
same time, especially having kids. So thank you very much. I will link
Thank you to you.
I will link your blog to our podcast. So if you guys have any questions or want to go ahead and follow her and reach out to her for more information, I would suggest you do that.
Okay.
And we will
I will
see
be
you guys.
very happy.
Yep. We will see you guys next time.
Yes. I hope to visit. Where are you right now, Eva?
I'm currently in Korea. I'm back from Thailand. And
Okay.
I'm not sure where I'm going next, but
Well, I will let you know when we are go to the States. Maybe we meet there if it happens that you are there. Then if not, then around the world.
yep,
If you are going
exactly.
to visit any from the global camp, let me know.